You live.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we would like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Rakabadash. We would like to give double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the hopeful elect out there in this word of truth and in sincerity. You know, so water Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, you know, for, you know, giving us the spirit to do this lesson, man. You know, we're going to go into, you know, Joel, the 3rd chapter, because, you know, we're in times of war, which is one of the signs of being in the end. You know, so this is something that we're watching for daily, actually, man. I wouldn't read that. Joel 3 and verse 1, it says, "For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem." So this is the Lord saying, look, I'm going to take y'all like out of captivity. But before he do so, there's a series of events that's getting ready to happen. You know, because before we'll be taken out of Babylon the Great, no one will be of the elect. You know, there are some things that got to happen before the end of this kingdom comes, man. Verse 2 says, "I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat," which in the Hebrew is Yehoshaphat, which means Yahweh's judgment. You know, and this is what we see going on right now. You know, pursuing Ezekiel the 30th chapter, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is gathering the nations for World War III. All right, and when you read the book of Revelation, it's called the War of Armageddon, man. Ultimately, the final war before Yahushua return, man.
And also, that land, Yehoshaphat, is over there in the Arabian Peninsula, and this is where armies are gathering right now. Because you got so-called Benjamin Netanyahu trying to implement a plan called Greater Israel. He's trying to take over all the lands around him to make it a greater nation of Israel. But that's not the Israel of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. First and foremost, Israel is a people before a place. And the land that they're in now doesn't belong to them. That's why I believe it's the book of Zephaniah, or that could be Zechariah, that says the bastard shall dwell in Ashdod. Right? Those people are indigenous to the land. That land belongs to the so-called blacks, Hispanic, Native American. All right.
See, and that's what this war is going to be about. This war is going to be for controversy of these people. You know, because what these nations did to the children of Israel, that judgment got to come for that, man. All right. It says, "And will plead with them there for my people." You know, and that word plead is Shabbat. The Lord's not going to beg you nations. All right. To repent. No, the plea means to judge. All right, it says, "To plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land." And we see that happening right now. You know, you got the Amalekites there, or you got the Ishmaelites there. All right, Elamites, they parted the Lord's land, and they're fighting over it. Right, they're fighting over for a land that's not even theirs to begin with. And that's why ultimately, you know, Yahushua is going to come back and set the record straight. This is my land. I'm giving it back to my people. All right.
Let's back you up. This is the book of 2nd Ezra. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, starting at verse 20. "Behold, thus saith the power, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, and Lebanus, to turn themselves one against another, and repay the things that they have done to them. Like as they do yet this day unto my chosen, so will I do also, and recompense in their bosom. Thus said the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai." Right? The Lord's gathered all these kings together. They're going to all fight against each other. Really? Let's go talk about 2nd Ezra 13. How a nation is going to rise against a nation. You know, one realm against another, one kingdom against another. Right? This is going to be the ultimate World War III. It's like Brother was going into the War of Armageddon. All right, this the peak of the Armageddon, or peak of the World War III. It's going to be the return of Yahushua, man.
And think about it. All right, this World War III, not only the nations going to go at it, they're going to go at it with weapons that, you know, the previous kingdoms before them did not have. All right, nuclear weapons is about to be used to fight this final battle, man. That's as at Isaiah the 9th chapter. All right, with fuel of fire, man. Because in the ancient world, hey, wars were fought with spears, swords, which is also gruesome. But this war coming, there's going to be, you know, explosions all over the place, man. All right. And I just showed you that this last and final war is going to be the worst of them all, man. It says in verse 3, it says, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. And this going into, you know, they were selling our people on the auction blocks, man. They were trading Drake. They were trading our people, Jake, all right, for whiskey, man. All right, for tobacco, for cotton. They equated our people, you know, to being on the level to trade for whiskey, man. That's disrespectful. So Yahweh Shemel Shai got something to say about that, which is going to be the judgment of war, man. All right, every nation is going to suffer by the means of war. All right, Babylon the Great, which is America, is going to suffer. And the countries over here in Europe are going to suffer. Ain't nobody going to be safe, man. Definitely.
The book of Lamentation, chapter 4, verse 1. How was the gold become dim? How was the most fine gold changed? The stones of the sanctuary are poured out at the top of every street. The precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold, how are they esteemed as earthen pitchers, the work of the hands of the potter? Right. The Lord compares his chosen people, right, as fine gold. He compares the elect as the finer than the gold of Ophir. So now to take Jake and to trade him for fucking vain things such as whiskey, weapons, and to trade them for or use them as harlots, right? So, hey, how can you do that when the Lord esteems us as gold and this is how you treat us? The Lord talks about how the people that touch his affect us, basically affect the apple of his eye, man. We are precious in the sight of Yahweh Shemel Shai. How much more the elect?
Hey, brother, you know how real the spirit is? Before you mentioned it, I promise you, I was thinking the same thing as far as you saying how we are the apple of the Lord's eye. Soon as you said it, I thought it. So that's the spirit, brother.
Furthermore, you know, the spirit is that you brought that precept not too long ago in camp, man. How, you know, these nations touched the apple of the Lord's eye, which is people, you know. So when you really think about it, everything going on around the world, you know, the wars, you see people dying. You know, Yahweh Shemel Shai is doing this as a judgment to these nations. Because even the citizens, man, they're not guiltless. All right, they're still guilty, and they're paying for what they did toward the children of Israel. Because even they, you know, in their past life, might have persecuted Jacob in some way, man.
Yeah.
So that's why you know through the spirit, we don't get bent out of shape when we see like the judgment going on towards the other nations. Because that's judgment. What can we do about it? Hey, at the end of the day, we rejoice and we call out Yahweh Shemel Shai.
Right.
You know. I'm going to jump down to verse 9. Joel 3:9, it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears, let the weak say, I am strong, you know, because the nations are not putting their money or their funds, their finances, into agriculture no more. They're putting their funds into war, instruments of war, man. And that's why throughout the years, you've seen more nuclear talks, man. You've seen Russia giving weapons to Iran. All right, because these are the times that we're in, man. All right, hey, let the weak say I'm strong. You got countries like, I want to say South Korea, all right, North Korea. Yeah, hey, they flexing their missiles, man. You know, they're not flexing, you know, their economy. They're not flexing their agriculture.
That's the spirit too. Think about North Korea, because North Korea purposely they so-called starve their citizens because they put all their resources into their military and building nuclear weapons, man.
Hey.
This is why they flex. They have parades with their missiles, man. Because that's where the majority of their money goes.
Yep.
While the people are starving, they still got the weapons because those weapons are going to be used to be sent forth into the other ends of the world, which is America, man. But North Korea is literally on the opposite side of the planet. We're in the Western Hemisphere, and they're in the Eastern Hemisphere, man.
See, but these are the times that we in where a nation rather starve their people to put more money into, you know, weapons of war, man. Because at the end of the day, it's more about, you know, who got the biggest, baddest weapons with these nations, man. But eventually, it's gonna go from, you know, flexing your muscles to actually using them.
Yeah.
You know, this verse 11. It says, "Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones come down, O Lord." You know, and the mighty ones are the angels, because Yahweh Shemel Shai is going to send the angels to pretty much direct that war, man. And the angels, even right now, the angels are working on the minds of these kings, man. Scripture says, Proverbs 21:1, the king's heart is in the hands of the Lord, as the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. All right, and he's using these angels to pretty much work on the minds of these kings, man. And that's why, you know, as much as Vladimir Putin want peace, it's not going to happen, because at the end of the day, peace is not the will of Yahweh Shemel Shai. The Lord wants war to happen. He wants these nations to go at it. All right, so they can come and say, you know, we're going to do this for peace, we're going to do that for peace. But the time is going to come to where, you know, something's going to happen to where it's going to be like, you know what, fuck it. You know, hey, man, let's have it, man, war. All right?
It's like it, brother. You're not wrong, but because the Lord does ultimately want peace for his nation. Mm-hmm. But peace can only be obtained by war. This is why war, the point of war is to create peace for some time. sometimes war is to get resources for your people. But the point of this war ultimately is to bring peace on earth.
Yeah.
Right? Because after this war, all these nations are, just like the brother read, how these nations are turning their plowshares into weapons. There's going to be a time they're going to turn their weapons into plowshares, man.
Right.
Pursuant to Isaiah chapter 1.
Right. Verse 12 says, let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. So, hey, the Lord is gathering all these nations to the so-called Middle East, all right, so they can fight it out, man. Because the Lord's going to be right. His presence is going to be right there. Matter of fact, those nations going to be right there when Yahweh Shah come back. That's why he likens it to, let me get that real quick in the book of 2nd Ezra 13, man. Because it talks about how they were afraid and thus fight.
Yep,
all right?
Yep.
2nd Ezra 13 in verse 1, it says, and it came to pass, after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof, and I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. That's the Yahweh Shah when he come back with the angels. It says, and when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth felleth when it filleth to fire. Because out of that chariot is going to become a fire, man. Concentrated fire. Like, you see that in like TV shows and movies, how, fire is coming out of that UFO, man. They get that from the scriptures. All right? It says, verse 5, after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. So they're gonna go from fighting each other, shooting bombs at each other. All right, so you be like, this is the threat. We gotta fight him. All right, but even through all that, they won't fail, man.
I think it was Reagan, the former president, said, well, if there was an existential threat that came from basically another planet, wouldn't everybody join forces together and fight against that threat?
Right.
But he was basically saying, hey, one day we're gonna join forces and fight against a heavenly realm, man.
Right.
Like I said in 2nd Ezra 13, there's gonna be one realm against another.
Yep. Verse 6 says, but I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself the great mountain and flew upon it. But I would have seen the region or place where the hill was graven, and I could not. And that's the chariot. And the chariot is going to cover the whole earth, man. All right, Yahweh Shah is coming on that fathership. It says, verse 8, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were so afraid, and yet durst fight. So, even though they're going to be afraid, Yahweh Shah is going to put his spirit on these nations and still go and fight, man. So the point being is that everything that we see going on right now is ultimately happening on behalf of the children of Israel, man. All right? When you get to the Lord's people, World War III is going to happen. All right, all these nations are going to go at it, and at the end of the day, Yahweh Shah is going to come back to finalize that judgment of the nations. All right, but anything else?
That's it. I want a correction because that's in Isaiah 1, but this is Isaiah chapter 2. I'm gonna go straight to the point. And he shall judge among Isaiah chapter 2 verse 4, and I'll read verse 3. And many people shall go and come and say, come ye, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, the house of Jacob, the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we'll walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. The nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Right? Because the new basically weapons of mass destruction are going to be Israelites, man. With our new bodies, with spiritual powers, we're going to be indestructible. It's going to talk about how no weapon formed against you shall prosper. All right, so there's going to be no need for weapons, right?
Yep.
But that's it on that.
Hey, Lord willing, these lessons was edifying to those of you guys that watch. We're going to end it off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakodash.
We want to give double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to those who elect, hearing this word in truth and in sincerity. Until next time, we'll say Shalom.
Shalom.